Heartland series.
It's a good two-legged dog story.
Their service and sacrifice.
Thanks for watching, and have a good night.
And finally, giving new life to old churches.
10 News reporter Mark Salinger shows us the new trend that preserves history.
Long after the church bells last rang, after the faithful moved on, the churches still stand tall, their use different than when they were built.
There are thousands of old churches that have actually been converted.
Around the world, the country, and right here in Knoxville, old churches are finding new life beyond religion.
Bars to rock climbing gyms to restaurants.
Dr. Tricia Bruce is a professor of sociology at Maryville College and is studying church conversion around the world. She says trends in church attendance as well as economic pressures often force churches to move on from their hallowed sanctuaries.
There's an opportunity to actually save these churches and to use them for some other kind of creative use.
In Farragut, the Faith Lutheran Church will soon become a community center. In downtown Knoxville, the First Christian Church will be renovated and redeveloped. In South Knoxville,
this is the original sanctuary. This is the original church.
Tom Weiss has big plans for the old Sevier Heights Baptist Church, originally built in the 1930s.
This space that we're standing in is going to be a food hall. We're going to have 4 different restaurant operators in here.
The question now, when does a church?
Once this actually has a wholly different vibe to it in terms of, maybe a brewery or bike shop or otherwise, do we still call that a church?
Stop being a church. Mark Salinger, WBIR 10 News.
The city of Knoxville offers funding to encourage improvement of historic buildings, and developers say it's often more expensive to renovate old buildings than build a new one.
Interesting concept. And that is